What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the UFC Fight Night main event, number 3, Rob Font versus number 4, Cody Garbrandt. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, it's Mike here. Over 93% of you who view our show each and every day are not subscribed to the channel. If you could hit that red subscribe button, it would help us out tremendously, and it is completely free for you guys. If you want to stay up to date with our daily content, then click that bell icon and you will be notified every time we go live. Nick and I both really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and we can't wait to keep making more daily content for you. All right, Nick, well, tomorrow is the UFC main event for the fight night. We have Cody Garbrandt versus Rob Font. First time we're seeing Cody Garbrandt fight since June of last year, so almost a year for him. Rob Font last fought in December, so it's been about 6 months for him. You know, there's been a long roller coaster of things that have gone on for Cody Garbrandt, where he's had to deal with injuries, he's had to deal with infections, he's had to deal with COVID, and all of these other things that he's had to deal with during camps and getting ready for big fights. And now he finds himself going against Rob Font, where, you know, he could have been in a #1 contenders fight. He could have even been challenging Aljamain Sterling for the championship title. Nonetheless, this is where we are, and this is the fight that we have to talk about. So what do you think of this fight, and who do you have coming out on top?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off with Cody Garbrandt, and a guy who was just about to fight Davidson Figueiredo for the flyweight title ends up getting COVID right before the fight, and Alex Perez steps in. Now we see Cody Garbrandt sticking at bantamweight, not making the cut down to flyweight, and he wants to fight Rob Font, potentially putting himself in a situation where he could face either Aljo or move down and fight Davidson Figueiredo or Brandon Moreno, whoever wins their fight. So this is going to be an interesting situation for Cody Garbrandt if he's to win, but he has to get through Rob Font first, a guy who's on a 3-fight win streak, a guy who cannot be taken lightly. He's had a ton of success in his career. He trains with the best of the best in the world, and I think that Rob Font is riding a huge high right now, while Cody Garbrandt, he had a lot of setbacks in the last year, and we don't know what his conditioning is like. We don't know how he's going to be able to handle a camp and how he's going to be able to handle a full fight against one of the best bantamweights in the world. So I think that Cody Garbrandt's got a ton of obstacles in his way still after getting past COVID, getting past those infections. I think that he's got a long road ahead of him. Rob Font is no easy task, and I think that there's a lot that Rob Font has to offer. But when we break this down, Rob Font is mainly a boxer. He's mainly a guy who likes to stay on his feet and box. But he has the ability to take his opponents down to the ground. He has 4 submissions under his belt. He has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think that he has plenty of what it takes to handle Cody Garbrandt until you see that Cody Garbrandt has a 100% takedown defense. So can we eliminate the takedowns from this altogether? Can we say that this is just going to be a boxing match straight up? I believe so. I think that this is going to be a fist fight through and through. And when we're saying who's the better boxer, who's the better puncher, it's, to me, obvious. Cody Garbrandt, a guy who has made a career of knockouts, a career of highlight reels of beating guys up, standing up. To me, Cody Garbrandt is going to fight through the adversity. He's going to get past all these obstacles. He's going to put together a string of wins after a 3-fight losing streak. I think that this is the Cody Garbrandt that we've known from the past. He's finally getting a resurgence in his career, and he's ready to fight for a couple titles.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Garbrandt comes in, you know, off of his win in June, and you know, kind of like we talked about with Conor McGregor, fighting once a year is not a formula for success. It's just not. You're going to have ring rust. You're not going to be able to perform at a peak condition. And Cody Garbrandt has to start focusing on fighting more often, especially with everything that's gone on. This is the time to focus on fighting. And I understand he dealt with COVID, he dealt with staph infection, that's going to hold you out. But at the same time, he's got to really try his best to get into the octagon and make this fight. So fighting Rob Font is the first step in getting there. And Cody Garbrandt needs to show us that he's his same old dominant self. Because until I see it, it's going to be very tough to really choose him. Even though I will be taking Cody Garbrandt in this fight, I believe that it's going to be a much closer battle than it should be, just because of the long layoff that he's had to deal with and all the different obstacles that we've mentioned so far. So I do believe Cody Garbrandt will come out on top, but it's not going to be an easy task. Like you said, Rob Font comes in with a 6-inch reach advantage. So when it does come to a boxing match, he's going to be able to keep a little more distance against Garbrandt than Garbrandt will against him. So there's going to be a lot of that he's going to have to weigh. And Cody Garbrandt's never won by submission in his professional MMA career. That's pretty notable because Rob Font knows if he needs to take him down, even if he wants to go to the ground, Cody Garbrandt may not be able to get a finish down there, so he's going to have to rely on a decision. At this point, Rob Font has the advantage on the ground if he can get Cody Garbrandt there. So at this point, I'm really taking a look at and seeing who's going to be coming out on top. Cody Garbrandt, in my eyes, again, still comes out on top. I think the 100% takedown defense in his career speaks for itself. It's not for a lack of trying either. He's in a division, the bantamweight division, where they try to take you down constantly. Cody Garbrandt is one of those guys who can just defend against it at all costs. And he is a wrestler, so he does have that background to back him up a little bit.
Yeah, and we're also looking at this fight in Vegas at the Apex Center in the 25-foot octagon. So you got these guys right up against each other. They're going to be gunning for each other, absolutely slamming each other. And this is going to be Rob Font's best opportunity to finally take Cody Garbrandt down, because he can work against the cage, and I think that could work to his benefit. But to me, Cody Garbrandt's gonna just do what he did against Rafael Assunção and move around the cage, work his punches, and I think that he's gonna time some up and land some really, really big shots that are gonna stun and then eventually finish Rob Font.
I absolutely agree, and I'm looking forward to this fight. I think this is a really good matchup, and I'm excited to watch both of these guys get back into the octagon. I've been a fan of Cody Garbrandt's for a few years now, and I'm really excited to see what he looks like coming back. All right, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.